Hey friends! First off, I'm sick, so I sound weird. Second, I did this video 2 years ago, but it's crap. I had no script or intelligence, so here's the redo. If you haven't noticed, amongst the Wings of Fire community, it is agreed that Mudwings are the outcasts amongst all the tribes. I've always wondered why, so here are some of the reasons I always believe to be the reasons why Mudwings are so disliked upon the Wings of Fire community. I'll put up some timestamps in order of the reasons on screen and in the description if needed. I think one of the biggest reasons for me is that there's only one Mudwing protagonist, Clay. The only reason I'm mentioning this is that because the other tribes have more than one book of that tribe, meaning there is more time spent on developing the other tribes. Like how there's 2 books for Sandwings, 2 books for Sea Wings, 2 books for Nightwings, 2 books for Icewings, 2 books for Silkwings. The more books we can read about a certain tribe, the more interesting that tribe becomes. We get to know and learn a lot more about the culture and lives of a dragon who lives in a certain region. With Mudwings, we don't get to do that. The only book we get of a Mudwing only had like a chapter of being in the Mud Kingdom, most of which took place in the poorer parts of it, where Clay wasn't able to learn much about Mudwing culture and the royalty, which means that us, the readers, didn't get to learn much either. Another big reason is more so for the artists, but let's be honest, they make up the majority of the community. Mudwings have bulky, detailed, specific, and stiff designs. When I say stiff, I mean the more bulky the design is, the harder it is to draw in bendy, flexible poses. The design makes it hard to draw. I mean, look at all the detail. Unless you're doing detailed work, the animation is difficult to draw consistently. I'm saying that just from experience. So because of these reasons, you probably don't see too many OCs out of Mudwings. Another thing sorta relates to the reason I just said is the color palettes of Mudwings. I get this is more up to opinion, but I think it's worth mentioning. Color palettes of Mudwings are pretty boring. The majority of Mudwings that have canon designs consists of different shades of browns, which isn't always a bad thing, but when it comes to making characters, there isn't a whole lot of range of color, which makes making characters hard. Speaking of characters in the book, there again isn't many. The ones that are introduced aren't developed and don't have much time spent on them. The Mudwings that I can name off the top of my head are Clay, Sora, Marsh, Crocodile, and Crane. All of which, other than Clay and Sora, I can't really remember much, if anything, about them. Without many characters, and the existing ones not having any development, it's no wonder Mudwings are as disliked as they are. I'd also like to talk a little on how Clay is a pretty boring character. No hate on him, I do love Clay, but since he was the first protag of the very first book, he was destined to be a boring character. When it comes to building a whole new world, obviously you can't have too much space for character development since Toei was spending the whole first book on teaching the reader how the world of Wings of Fire works. The same thing happened in Blue in his book. Again, not that it's a bad thing, it can just make Clay a not so interesting character. Anyways, there's why I think of Mudwings as the most underrated tribe. If you disagree, make sure to comment your own thoughts, and also give suggestions on the next video I should do. Thanks for watching!